Oh, I don't know if any of them are different, honestly. This one seems like it's gone quicker in some ways because the Miami series went so quick for us. But other than that, preparation time or anything else, it's not that big of a difference. There's been more rest in between games because in 2008 we went 7-7. So we were leaving a series going into another series, and so the prep time was shorter. Other than that, there's no difference.
Paul mentioned you didn't have the home court advantage this year in a couple of your series, and you played teams that were red hot, and yet you thought it was harder this year.
Well, it is harder because we're playing. You can make a case better teams without home court. But other than that, you got to just play, and you got to play to the best of your ability and try to win each game. I think our guys have done a better job in some ways of narrowing games down to one game and not thinking it as a series.
Doc, Paul,
your guys are not only physically tough but mentally tough. When you bring players in, is that the quality you're looking for, guys who are mentally tough?
Well, that's what you hope, but you don't know a player until you coach him. You think he's mentally tough, and then you get him. Sometimes it's like, wow, and then sometimes you don't know, and you never know, and sometimes they are more than you thought so, but you're never sure.
How
do you value the contributions from the bench over the course of the entire playoffs?
It's been huge. We've clearly shortened our bench, but when they're in, they've done a great job. We've been able to, even throw Sheldon in the one game, and he was terrific. And we just harp on everybody being ready because you never know with foul trouble or injury. I tell Nate and Marquise every day there's going to be a point at some point in this playoffs that they're going to make a contribution. And they have to stay ready. And I think our bench has that attitude of staying ready.
Doc, Paul.
After game 2 that it was going to be like a month off, and you should take them for Alcatraz for a week. What's the challenge when you went into these 3 days of
Well, the challenge is trying to get proper rest and proper work at the same time. Keeping your edge, which is almost impossible with a stretch like this. But more importantly, trying to keep your rhythm. And I think we did that. You never know, honestly, until the game starts. When you're up 2-0, you would rather play a game later or a day later. But we couldn't do that, and we knew that. And, in the long run, it may be better for us. We're not a young team. You guys have told me that every chance you get. And so we're not. And so it probably does help us in some ways.
Paul, what about you as a coach? What did you try to do when you were talking to players?
Oh, I just watch more film. I probably drive my staff crazy because the more film you watch, the more things you see, and you got to just, kind of cut the temptation off of change, because we're not a team of change. We haven't been. But when you have this much time, you want to put in 5 new plays and run 2 new defensive schemes, and it's not smart, and so you end up not doing it. But it's in your pocket now, so that's not bad.
Paul was talking about them being feisty probably tomorrow night. Perk was saying that you told them that you got to keep your head and be very cool. What do you expect?
They should be feisty, and we should be too. It's the playoffs. It's game 3. We're trying to defend our home turf now. They're trying to take it away. So every reason the game should be feisty, it should be, and it will be. And we should be feisty too. But obviously you want to always keep your head, but that doesn't mean to back down. That means you got to play with composure, you got to play with intensity, you got to play hard.
Doc, yesterday on this